What's going on, guys? I hope you had an awesome Tuesday. Just excited to talk to you again, share a message with you, and wanted to apologize about this morning not getting any gold out to you. I kind of failed on my end on that. Lack of discipline, a lot of stuff. It's been a busy week. A lot of stuff going on, getting married, moving in with a new roommate, honeymoon, which I am prepared to celebrate. Also, Memorial Day. Happy holidays. Get your fireworks ready. We'll grill out a little bit. But just the last few days, there's no excuses for not sending you a God gold this morning. Last few days have just kind of got to me. Just listened to a lot of lies from the enemy. Just really struggled about some stuff. And just kind of got weak and failed and laid there and didn't want to get back up. So that was a big reason why I didn't send you the God gold this morning, and I really do apologize about that. But I'm going to share you a message why I didn't, and I pray that it encourages you, gives you some hope for your day. It brings you closer to the Lord, and also gives you some strength to continue running this race daily for Him and His kingdom, for His glory. I am so excited to share this with you. So this morning, been going through a couple rough days. Just those days that no matter what you do, you can't win. Just things go, you try to do things right, things just keep tumbling out of control. You can't stop it. Just bad days, right? So I spent some time doing devotion this morning, which I didn't do the other days. That's obviously a big part of it. And I read these verses from 2 Timothy 4, 7, and 8. And it's Paul writing to Timothy, and Paul's coming towards the end of his life, and he says this that it brought so much hope to me. He says, I have fought long and hard for my Lord, and through it all I have kept true to Him. And now the time has come for me to stop fighting and rest. In heaven a crown is waiting for me, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give me on that great day of His return. And not just to me, but to all those whose lives show that they are eagerly looking forward to His coming back again. And a couple verses before that, he says, stand steady and don't be afraid of suffering for the Lord. Bring others to Christ. Leave nothing undone that you ought to do. Just so much hope in that. To think Paul at the end of his life, and to think, and how that affects me at the end of my life when I stand before Christ, when I stand before God, the righteous judge. I want to be able to say that I ran the race and I ran it well. I gave all I had. I left no stone unturned. I stood steady. I fought hard for Him. And so many days I feel like I can't say that. I think a lot of us would agree with that. But it was something in this that really stuck out to me, and it was kind of going back with the last couple days, is this idea of suffering for the Lord. Paul says, don't be afraid of suffering for the Lord. And Paul talks about suffering all the time. And so many times I read that and I'm like, I don't want any part of that. That sounds terrible. It sounds painful. It doesn't sound fun at all. And I think we would all agree it doesn't sound fun. It probably isn't fun for the most part. And why is that so important? Why should we suffer for the Lord? Why should we have to suffer for the Lord? Very good questions. But looking at just what the suffering brings, because today in my suffering, I started getting caught up in my weakness again. The devotion really helped me out this morning. Just spending time in the Word. I'm telling you, I wish I could tell you all the times that the difference in my days when I don't and when I do get in the Word is a whole nother ball game. Excuse me. But also verses kind of led me to this one. John 16:33. I have told you all this so that you will have peace of heart and mind. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but cheer up, for I have overcome the world. And this is Jesus teaching here his disciples, and he tells them, like, you will suffer. You'll go through some stuff that's not fun. You're gonna get some bruises. You're gonna have some pain. You're gonna go through trials and have troubles. But there's so much hope in this, that although you'll go through stuff here on earth, you'll have peace. You'll have peace of heart and mind. And he says, cheer up, because Jesus has overcome the world. There's nothing in this world, there's no suffering that can hurt you. And what's cool about being a follower of Christ is when you suffer, people see you in your weakness. Me sharing with you right now that I spent some days suffering this week. I've never wanted to share my weaknesses with anyone. But I'm excited to share those with you today, to tell you that, hey, we all suffer. We all go through stuff that's hard every single day. But there's so much hope in what Jesus says here. I have overcome the world. You have a life with Jesus. You have a life that has overcome the world. This temporary earthly life means nothing compared to the eternal life you have with God that you can look forward to. And I was at work today, just to share this example with you real quick. It's crazy. I was at work today, loaded some feed in a guy's truck. Saw he had a tag on the front of his truck that said Jesus. So I decided I gotta say something to him. He walked out. I was like, "Hey sir, I like your tag." And just right there, he started sharing his testimony with me. And I was all over it. And I started noticing, dude, like, he thought he was witnessing to me. Like, I don't know if he was sure or not that I knew Jesus or anything like that. So I just really appreciated him for that. It was just an awesome example just to see how he went right into, hey, this is why I have that tag. Let me share the greatest news about the greatest one you'll ever hear about.